If you're managing the inventory of your growing business and you can't find a CRM that fits your needs, and if a single spreadsheet is not enough, then this video is for you. I'm here to teach you how to design a robust inventory system using spreadsheets. And hey, I'm just a marketing girly, so if I can do it, you can do it. Today, we're gonna go from here to here to here. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel because we're gonna split this into multiple videos. So when we are designing a process on spreadsheets, the first thing that we need to know is our goal. In here, we want to know our current inventory levels. We also know that we don't want a system that has manual data entry or that is very difficult to implement. Also, what we do want is a system that is flexible, adaptable to your own specific process, scalable, and cost-effective. Okay, so let's dive right in. The first thing that we're going to create are our databases. Creating databases is crucial because that's where you have a single source of truth for your data. So think a year from now. You want to have all your data in a single place where no one has touched it. So in this case, we're going to have 3 databases. Our items master file, all the data that was checked in, and everything that was checked out. So we're going to create 3 spreadsheets. I'm going to start by creating my first spreadsheet, which is my items master file. In the meantime, I'm going to start creating the other 2 with this pretty nifty shortcut, sheets.new. I love it. I use it for everything in Google Workspace related things. It works with docs, everything. Super cool. So what do we want to know about our items? The minimum things is SKU, right? We also want item name. And last but not least, the unit of measure, right? Please always name everything. Everything needs to be named. Cool. So how to create a unit of measure is with a drop-down menu. So I'm gonna insert drop-down and I am going to write down all my options. In this case, I'm gonna put unit, sheet, and let's do a row, and that's it. So then every item has its own valid thing. I always like to give it a little bit of a pretty face on my spreadsheets. Let's get it there. So I already have a list of items because otherwise we would be here for hours. So I'm gonna bring this up. This is a list of items of sustainable packaging company. So this is it. So every time I add a new item, I'm gonna put it in this spreadsheet. So I know that anywhere that I wanna look, anyone asks, what are all the items that we have? This is your source of truth. Now, you also would like to know some things, for instance, who checked in this item and since when is it in your list? So we're gonna add here 2 columns to the left. This is great about spreadsheets. You can just add whatever you want and put, for instance, record date and submit it by. So I also have my dates here, but this is whenever you add a new item, this will happen at that moment. So this is it. We now have our items list database, our unique source of truth for everything item related. You want to send it to marketing, you want to send it to your finance team, you just have it there. Now we're going to have our check-in file and our checkout file. Okay, so these are going to be our other 2 databases. What do we want to know for check-in and checkout? For sure, the date, right? We also know who submitted it, right? Hey, I don't see this order in the warehouse. Who submitted it? There's your data. Then we want to know the item name. We want to know the unit of measure. And then we also want to know the volume. And finally, we also want to know the SKU, right? What we usually suggest is using the SKU to check in and check out, because let's say you have 2 items that are similar name, the SKU is unique identifier for that specific item, color, whatever is it that you have. So again, let's make this a bit more pretty, and let's get to it. So you want the person that's inputting this data on a daily basis to only have to do the least amount of steps possible. So in this sense, it would be either item name or SKU and then volume. Since we prefer to use SKU, we're going to teach you now how to bring all this data together so that whoever is checking in data only uses one single field. So let's say I have checked in a bunch of items, and I'm going to bring them here just for time's sake, right? How can I make that the item name and unit of measure automatically appears in this spreadsheet whenever I just check in and out? We have to bring in our items master file. And then what we're going to do is go into Sheetgo and connect all these files, right? This is our first set of process design. So we're just going to go into app.sheetgo.com. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a blank workflow. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to name it, and I'm going to create my first automation. So what I want to do is take all my items in my items master, which if you are not sure, you can just search for them this way and choose the right tab. I'm going to close this tab and then just transfer everything into my existing checkout and check-in file. So let me do first the check-in connection, since we're going to be doing it for both. And finish and save. And I am going to rename. Cool. And now we can simply duplicate this connection, call it items checkout, and then change the destination. So instead of being a check-in, we're going to do the checkout file. Now, the good thing about creating a process is that you just do it once, and once it's done, that's it. You just run it automatically, right? That's why we are designing this process. So here you go. We have our first connections. Super exciting. Now, what we can do with this information now is the following. So let's say someone checks in the SKU, automatically we want a way for the item name to show up. So what I want to do is find this specific SKU in this range, and then the index is the second index, right? And then false and close. So every time I check in this specific SKU, we're going to get the item name automatically. And we're going to do the same for unit of measure. So let's go for VLOOKUP. We're going to find the SKU in this range, C to E. And we want the 1 to the 3rd index to return. Now it's going to be blank because I don't have any units of measure in my items master file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them to my master file. This is pretty cool because let's say you want to edit one of your items. All you have to do is edit one file and then just run all your automations, and everything will be updated in your entire system. So you just saw why we want databases. It's super important to have databases. So if we go back here, there you go. So now our VLOOKUP should work. There you go. Now, we don't want our formulas to work in a single line of data. We want the formulas to keep working. And we do not want to do this, right? This is not how we work. So let's learn an array because we're going to use it for everywhere. It's as simple as adding array formula in the beginning and then just expanding the entire thing, all of your ranges to arrays. So it's as simple as doing this. Super easy, super straightforward, and array formulas are key to creating systems in spreadsheets. And that's it. very beautiful, but my issue is, let's say I finished checking in and the array is going to continue for all of my entire column, and we don't like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix that by adding an if formula, right? So how does the if formula works? Okay, if logical expression, if this value is blank, then I don't want any information in there. If it's not blank, then give me do all of this formula. So it'll continue. If this has a value, then it will have the VLOOKUP. But if it's blank and it's not working, and I know why, I didn't put an array. So this should be an array as well. And now we're going to have the VLOOKUP formula working only for this amount of data. Let's repeat it here. We're going to repeat this a lot of times. So just pause, do it again, copy it. If you do come for an error, it's super common. Just try to see the error notification. And you always have AI. AI nowadays is super useful to kind of catch these little things that happen with your formulas and just fix them. So super easy to fix formulas nowadays. So then, because you've checked in and out these things on a daily basis, you're gonna have that information, right? This is what your checkout file can look like. And to know which columns are automated, we always put a little gray thing so you don't mess with it. Because let's say here you want to delete it, it won't happen. It won't let you. That's super cool, super important. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing for our check-in. So we're gonna copy this in our check-in file. So it's here. So it's this one. This is the check-in. And as you see, the formula is already working. And you're gonna say, why is this already working? Because the tab is called the same. So it's looking at the exact same tab with the formulas, everything looking nice and tidy. I'm just gonna bring a different set of volume because check-in and checkout is not always the same. So let's make our check-in database. Cool. So we now have our check-in and checkout files, master files, source of truth. Nothing can change it. Nothing can break it, and you can have thousands of rows of data in there and it'll continue working. We're gonna go on how to create forms for these files, so it's even more robust, but that's in another video. For now, stay with me. What we're gonna do now is create our master inventory file, okay? So we wanna have a dashboard where we can see all of our data and see the current inventory level. To create a master file, we're gonna start with a new automation. So what we wanna do is grab our check-in file. Sheetgo is gonna bring you at the top the workflow file, so you can just grab there, and we're gonna choose the right tab, which is the check-in information in this case. And we're gonna skip this, and we're just gonna send it to a new sheet in this case, which is called the current inventory, let's call it. And let's name the tab correctly, finish, and save. Now we're gonna again duplicate this connection. And let's call it the checkout data. And let's change the source of the data, right? Instead of my check-in file, it's gonna be my checkout file. And the destination is the same. I'm just gonna name my tab correctly. It's important that to name your tabs correctly now, because if you change the tab name, you're gonna have to create the connection again. So name your tabs correctly, people. Super important. You create it once and then you just forget about it. So finish and save. And then last but not least, I'm actually gonna name this one check-in data so that it everything is kind of named in a similar way. And then last but not least, I want to bring my items master file into my current inventory levels, and you'll see why shortly. So we're gonna bring this as well, items list, into my master file. So I'm going to choose existing file and current inventory. And then it's going to be my items list. Finish and save. Okay, so I have a spreadsheet that if we go into it, we're going to see that this is pretty much a standalone template. So if you are not handling too many products and you don't really want a whole process, you can actually create everything we've done in a single spreadsheet. So if this is for you, this is completely fine. What we're trying to do is create the basis of a larger system that can hold up to 500 items with a team, maybe multiple warehouses. So if you see that you're going towards there, it's nice to already separate your databases and separate your processes so you don't have everyone working on your same spreadsheet and you don't have all your data in the same spreadsheet. But if you're here, that's completely fine. You have your check-in tab, checkout tab, and your items list. And with this data, you can create your current inventory. Cool. So let's create it. We want SKU, we want item name, we want unit of measure, and we might have already some stock in our inventory. So opening stock. Now we want the check-in, checkout, and then we're gonna have here our current inventory. Cool. So let's create this with formulas. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all the items that I have. And where I'm going to bring that from? From my items master database. So I'm going to do array formula. I'm just going to bring the entire piece of list in here. And then this is a manual thing. If you have opening stock, you're going to have to put it at the beginning. Let's make everything 10 just to have some data. And now we're going to have formulas. Super easy formulas, but super important. Okay. So what we want to do in the check-in, every time I see this SKU in my check-in file, I want to sum the quantity that was checked in. So in order to understand how many of this SKU was checked in, we're just going to sum everything, all the quantity that we have here whenever we see this SKU. Okay, so we're going to use a SUMIF for that. So we're going to start by typing SUMIF. We want the range where we're going to be checking against. So in this case, it's this column. And now the criteria, we want to match it to our SKU, right? And then we want to sum the volume, okay? So it should come out like that. Now, again, we're going to do an array because we want it to be working for everything in our list. So let's do the same thing for the checkout, right? So I want to check in my checkout, this range, I want to check my SKU and sum the volume that was checked out, right? And then we're gonna use an array. If you wanna go ahead and just write everything at the same time, the array and everything, that's fine. I just prefer to do it with this like nesting technique where we start slow and then we go adding, because it's a way of checking that you're getting the steps right. And then current inventory is going to be opening stock plus check-in minus checkout. And then we're going to not do an autofill because the autofill wouldn't, if we add an item, you will have to automatically manually come and drag it down. We don't like that. We're going to go for an array as well. So this is pretty straightforward. You just make everything an array and that's done. Now what we're going to do is do that little if so that it doesn't look like this on our spreadsheet. Lots of zeros. We don't like that either. So if A2 is blank, then we don't want anything. Otherwise, give me everything. And that's it. And we're going to do the same here. And if A2 is like this, then we don't want anything. Otherwise, give me the sum if. And the same here, array formula, and we're going to do a little if A2, let's open it there. This is A2 is blank, then bring me nothing. Otherwise, bring me everything. And then I know why it's not working. I didn't do an array. So just do array here and here as well. And finally here as well. Cool. So this is great, amazing. If someone wants to delete it, they can. Also, if someone wants to delete your data in this master file, let's say this is it. I don't want this. I want to mess up with your data. I'm going to delete it. What do? You have your source of truth. So all you're going to have to do is run your checkout connection again, and your data will be back to normal. This is why it's super, super, super important to have master databases. I cannot say this enough. If you want a scalable system, you need a single source of truth for every piece of data that you have. There you go. You now have your data back in your current inventory. Last but not least, let's make the spreadsheet pretty, right? So here it's up to you. You can use your own colors. I like to take out the extra columns and kind of make it look nice and pretty. And you can hide these tabs if you want. Put your company colors, put your logo, whatever it is that you want to personalize your spreadsheet with. You can share it with people, with as many people as you want or not, and it's up to you. So in just this amount of time, we want from zero to start of a scalable inventory system. If you do want templates that are already pre-made for you, you can check out our Sheetgo template gallery. We also have standalone templates. We actually have one for inventories. But if you want to create your own system that is robust, flexible, and adapts to your own specific company's needs, I challenge you to create your own system. And if you do need help, if you're not sure how to design something, use our community, ask us, we are here for you. We want to help you design your processes better on spreadsheets. This is like creating a virtual ecosystem on top of your Google Sheets. Automate your Google Workspace. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. And follow up with the next ones where we show you how to create forms, how to add dashboards, and how to add notifications in this same inventory system. Everything using Google Workspace and Sheetgo. Thank you.